Hello, I'm Los Angeles City Councilman Paul Krikorian, and I want to welcome you to this commemoration of Veterans Day 2020. About 5 years ago, I initiated the City Council's annual Veterans Day commemoration in City Council. And each year, we would honor our Veterans of the Year from throughout Los Angeles. Each council member selects a veteran who is especially noteworthy, not only for their service to our country, but for their service to our community as well. And it has been one of the great honors that I've had to lead these ceremonies each year, because truly we get an opportunity to see the very best of what Los Angeles has to offer. Everyone who has served in the military has been an example to the rest of us of what it means to have honor, to have patriotism, to have a sense of commitment to service. Our Veterans of the Year this year certainly embody that as well. And I'm very pleased to be able to bring this presentation to you of our Veterans of the Year for 2020.
First of all, I want to thank you on behalf of our city, our district, our country, for a grateful country for everybody who has served.
I'm telling you right now, the veteran is the backbone of this country.
Yes.
And they would do anything to keep the community and our people safe.
You know, personally, I want to thank you for the friendship and being a comrade with my dad. I love you very much for being his friend. You were there for him, and you know how much it meant to my family. He had a hard time at the end, but he could count on his friends, and you were one of them who was there with him to the very, very end.
The one thing that I learned is that once you're a military man, that it sticks with you for the rest of your life and has a big influence. And as soon as you find out that the person you're talking to, whatever it is, any place, if he's a veteran, right away you click and you know what to talk about, the good old days. And it's just a camaraderie, you know, you take care of each other, watch your backs, and that's it.
What was it that spurred you to decide to join the Marine Corps? When was the moment when that light came on and you said, I'm signing up for the Marines?
Well, I definitely wasn't the kid that grew up wanting to be a Marine. I grew up here in San Fernando Valley in the Catholic Church, so I had faith, but the Marine Corps was far from my mind. Growing up, this 9/11 happened. I'm sure that's what a lot of people say is what spurred them to want to serve their country. I remember that day specifically, it touched everyone a deep way. I definitely wanted to contribute, but it wasn't until one of my older cousins joined the Marine Corps and lost his life over there. So that's what made me want to join the Marine Corps.
Even with that loss, you went ahead and raised your hand and said, I'll go. And you were off to do two tours in Afghanistan. Can you talk a little bit about what that experience was like for you?
Man, out of all the bad times I had over there, but it was I think it was just the brotherhood everyone talks about all the time, but it really hits you different. It's the second family you have and stick with you forever. To this day, I still travel across the country to go to their weddings, to go to, their retirement ceremonies, and I don't I don't have all the money in the world, but I'll spend every penny I have with my wife just to go see them off, and just to see them and have, even if I only see them once every 5 years. But that's just the bond that we had over there in Afghanistan, because it wasn't about, it was about getting the mission done, but it was about protecting the brother to your left and your sister to your right, and we fought all the time, but we would die for each other, and that camaraderie, you can only find in certain places, and that place was just, it just hit me different.
Officer Flores, I just, on behalf of all of the people of my district and the people of the city of Los Angeles, I just want to tell you how grateful we are for your service, how grateful we are for your service to the country, how grateful we are for your continuing service here as an officer of the Los Angeles Police Department. You really are the embodiment of the motto, to protect and to serve. And I couldn't be prouder in recognizing you as our Veteran of the Year for the 2nd Council District for 2020. Congratulations and happy Veterans Day.
I'm honored. Thank you, Councilman.
I was on a carrier called the Midway, CVA 41. And today that carrier is a museum down in San Diego. Then I get to go on it complimentary.
I just want to say, on behalf of myself and behalf of everyone in Council District 3 and the city of Los Angeles, I want to thank you. Thank you for your service. And thank you for keeping Americans safe and for giving back in the way that you have.
I thank Bob. I appreciate that. I've been to a couple of reunions, and the people, not the military people, but the other people around the areas that we had these reunions, they thank you for your service, which was a first. That was the first time I heard anything like that. That was a few years ago. I was surprised.
What was the first time someone thanked you for your service was just a few years ago?
Yeah, and I came back in '66.
Yeah.
So we're talking, this is probably maybe 2010. It's been a while.
That's a long time to go without somebody thanking you for your service. So,
Well, things don't always go the way you expect.
this thank you for and honoring is then well overdue. So I'm glad that we can be part of that and help rectify that to some extent.
I think everybody owes this country a couple of years. It's just paying your dues.
Yeah.
Now you have a right to live here. You paid your dues.
Did you have kids back at home at that point in your life, or you?
I did. In fact, I had a little girl the day that I left. She couldn't have been more than about 3 months old.
Oh wow, that's got to be tough.
She was little, and when I came back, I had a second daughter. She was born while I was in Vietnam, though. That I didn't like too much. I never got to see her, and then when I start to think, if things don't go right, I may never get to see her. I wasn't too crazy about that, but none of that happened. I came back.
Just to let you know that it's really an honor to have you as the 3rd district honoree this year, and I wish you nothing but the best.
I have the honor and the privilege to talk to one of our very own Angelinos and veteran, Mr. Doug Derrick. What made you enlist in the armed forces?
The Vietnam War was going on. It was around 1974, almost towards the end. I take that back. It was close to 1972. And the deferments, I didn't get a deferment to go to college at the time. The draft came up, my number came up. So, of course, I got my notice to report to selective service to the U.S. Army. Instead, I decided, well, I'm going to go in anyway. I might as well make my choice what branch of service I want to go into. And so I went into the Navy, and I felt I made a good choice to that.
Thank you for your service, because you are truly an American hero. At the age of 18, stepping up to the plate.
I thank the people of this country and of this city for their support.
On behalf of myself and all the residents of Council District 4 and the City of Los Angeles, I want to thank you again for serving our community, for serving our country, for helping in keeping all Americans safe, and for your continued support. You are an American hero, and thank you on this Veterans Day. Thank you so very much, Doug.
So, how'd you ever enlist in the Army? That seems somewhat unusual.
Two of my cousins and one of my brothers were in the service, and I had been working for 3 defense plants, and I needed to do my part. And so then I enlisted. And when I enlisted, they offered me a field commission because of my high IQ, and I said, no, I have to come up through the ranks.
So you reached 98, you've done great things. Is there a message you would give to society and younger folks, young women?
Well, I have several of them. One is it's a Shakespeare thing, says, this above all to thine own self be true, as follows the night, the day, they canst not be false to any man. Then there's the golden rule, do unto others as they do unto you. Don't quit. Never, ever give up. Never lose your sense of humor, and never put off for tomorrow what you can do today.
Thank you for being willing to meet us on this interview. Appreciate it.
I feel very honored, and thank you very much.
And I just want to thank all veterans who are serving, who have served, and who will serve in the future for all your great work. Thank you so much.
Hi, Nurse Tapia. Congratulations on being named Council District 6 Veteran of the Year 2020.
The military has opened a lot of doors for me and opened my eyes about what I can do, and hopefully made a career out of it. I wanted to be able to get a college degree because at that time there was a lot of advertisement, get your GI Bill, you get to go to school while serving your country. So that's my story.
Is that how you paid for college, is by joining the Air Force?
Yes. Yes, they have tuition reimbursement. So, and the post-9 GI Bill, which is, I don't know anything at the school that I went to. So it's really great.
And you fell in love with nursing? Is that what, yes. What interests you?
I've always liked helping people. And there's 2 kinds of nurses. That's what we always say. One that goes in for the money, and the other that goes in because they love doing what they did. And it's the same for me when I went to the military. I loved doing what I did.
Any inspiring words to young people who are graduating high school next year and they're thinking about entering the military and serving our great country? Is there any words of inspiration you want to give our youth?
I would say go for it. I always said seize the day. It's a great opportunity, and don't be afraid. And there's so many things that, so many opportunities that's opened to me, and it taught me, and it changed the way who I am, I believe. So yeah, I always have this. I have the Rosie the Riveter so sign on my or a poster on my in my room, and I can always say we can do it. So
Yeah.
we can do it. I did it. So go for it.
Congratulations on behalf of the City of Los Angeles to you and to all the veterans who have given their service to our great country. And thank you as well for being an essential worker and being there at the early days when our community needed you the most. So I want to just say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Continue serving, and thank you so much for being an inspiration for so many of us.
Thank you as well, Nuri. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
I'm proud to recognize my very good friend, Jose Razo, as Veteran of the Year for the 7th District. Jose, I want to just ask you, what does Veterans Day mean to you?
Veterans Day to me. So Veterans Day is a very special day. First of all, it's the day after the Marine Corps birthday. So it's a little special for that reason in itself, right? But
Semper Fi.
The Semper Fi. So the reason that Veterans Day for me is a day we honor and thank those brave men and women that signed up, that enlisted, that took the pledge to defend our country, the Constitution, and to look at the best interests of our country. And at whatever cost. So, and we obviously have Memorial Day for those that we've lost along the way, but Veterans Day is the day we say thank you, and that we appreciate those that were willing to sign up and stand by each other, and always know that you have each other's six.
I know for me, Veterans Day is very special, and I know you know this. My father served as a Marine Corps veteran in Vietnam, and Veterans Day for me, particularly for those that served in that particular war, were not welcomed home properly, my dad being among them. And so for me, it's really special because we have this opportunity to thank all of the servicemen and women that have put themselves in harm's way in service to our country. And so I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for all of the men and women who have taken up the cause to serve this country. And I'm most grateful to you because you also continue in that legacy of service as you returned home from service to serve the youth of our community in the role that you do. So I want to thank you. I want to thank your brothers and sisters that served alongside with you, those that preceded you, and those that succeeded you. But again, happy Veterans Day to everyone. And we thank you for your incredible service.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. And obviously this recognition, I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Anthony Anderson, it's good to have you in this discussion for Veterans Day. Let me begin the conversation by just getting some of the basic facts. What part of the military did you serve in? Where were you stationed, and what kind of activities did you do?
My family had a rich history in the military. And about in 1972, my older brother, he enlisted into the Air Force, and which I thought was cool. And then when I became like a junior, I had to have some thoughts about my future. And then I kind of realized that I kind of grew up in that environment. My father was Army Air Corps. One of his brothers was Navy and the other one was Army. We did a lot of things with Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts growing up. So we was almost like kind of regimented. And then when my older brother went into the Air Force, and I remember one of his trips back, I was 17 years old, and my mother and father said, take him down to take the test. And I took the test, passed. I waited a little while because my birthday was in August, so I didn't turn 18 till that August of 74. I went into the military about 45 years ago tomorrow, November 6th, I believe. That's when I entered the Air Force.
How did the serving in the military prepare you for the things that you've done afterwards? I know you spent some time with the Postal Service and then you spent time with District 8. Can you talk about both of those things?
I think the military kind of made me kind of regimented a little bit in the things I do. Before I worked for the post office, I worked for the VA also, and I was a procurement specialist. But I did not like sitting behind a desk all day. When I had the opportunity to jump into the Postal Service, I took it and just went from there. Got to meet a lot of people. The matrix of being a postal carrier still stays in my head to this day. You know, got to meet a lot of people. You knock on a lot of doors. You become a lot of people's only extension of a human touch that day. I think working for you in this role as being a veteran has really opened up my eyes to a lot of the veterans that are in the community. We are a veteran-rich community. I got to learn a lot about veterans as far as different levels, how they deal with their mental capacity, job capacity, and how they really donate their time to a lot of different organizations. I was really kind of overwhelmed with how some of the veterans feel, the way how some of the other veterans feel. But it's been really one of the blessings of my life to come back and give back.
On behalf of myself and all the residents of Council District 8, I want to thank you for serving in our community, in our country, and helping keeping all Americans safe, and your continued support.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure working for you, and I look for more success as we go along.
Hi, I'm Councilman Curran Price, and I'm here with our veteran, Daryl Pinello. And so what led you to enlist?
My father was a veteran as well.
Okay, and where'd your dad serve?
He served in the Army as well.
Okay.
He always mentioned to me throughout my whole high school career, so then I was like, I'll take him up on it.
Yeah. How do you think serving in the military really prepared you, gave you the kind of skills for life after the military?
Gave me an understanding of how life works. Gave me an understanding to be a better person, a better man, a better father.
What message do you have for those who are thinking about joining the service?
It's a great experience to go out and serve your country.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you a better understanding of how things work, what you expect of yourself and others. So, yeah, I would encourage you to do the most if you can.
Well, again, man, we just really appreciate your service and your commitment not only to the military, but to the community, to your family and to the community. It means a great deal, and especially when we celebrate the contributions that veterans have made, helping us stay safe. We just want to acknowledge our own local heroes, and so we appreciate you. Congratulations. We appreciate your service, and we appreciate your commitment to our community. Continued success to you.
All right, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so proud to be honoring this year Lieutenant Colonel Richard Kinder. Just to tell you a little bit of history about Lieutenant Colonel Kinder, he signed up to be in, I believe it was called the Army Air Corps at the time, which would later be known as the Air Force, and flew over missions over Germany in World War II. On his 13th mission, the unlucky number, his plane was shot down. He was a POW for a little under a year. But even after that, Lieutenant Colonel Kinder signed up and joined up to be in the Korean War. And I say this often, and I don't think I can say this enough about veterans and everything that they have done for our country. But a personal story that my mom always shares with me about how when I meet a veteran, make sure you thank them for everything that they've done for this country. But when you meet a Korean War veteran, share them this story of how grateful she is that so many men and women came to this third world country of South Korea, a country they probably couldn't have found on a map at the time, but they came to this country to fight back communism and that if it weren't for those men and women, that she would not have had the opportunity to come to the United States, and that I would not have the opportunity to be born in the greatest country in the world. So, Lieutenant Colonel Kinder, thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, the residents of CD12, and most of all, me and my family.
Yolanda is our choice and our honoree, and I'm very humbled to be introducing her to you all. So welcome, Yolanda.
Thank you, Mitch. I'm happy to be here.
What inspired you to enlist in the armed services, Yolanda?
Well, I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s, and we know the 80s was rough. So my father always said you had to do something. My father was he was in the Air Force. So he died in my hands. He had a massive heart attack. And at that point, I had went to college in New York already. And I did about a year and a half. I played basketball in New York, but I didn't, do so well academically, kind of partied my whole way. But when my father passed on, it's like it was something hit me really hard because I was my daddy's little girl, basically. So I decided to just leave and try to get a little more discipline, and get myself, together, basically.
I get from just now meeting you that you are strong and you're a determined individual. I get that already, immediately. The military veterans, friends of mine, and in my own family, I come from a family of veterans, they have, you can tell that beneath the surface, there's so much more life that they understand that you'll never experience. Is that, do you feel similar to what I'm saying? Can you relate to that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It was hard dealing with civilian life. And believe it or not, it's been years since I've been out. But sometimes, some things, when you're in the military, those things stick to you. And still, some things, it's like hard to deal. Like I have things that's just a part of me because of that experience. Yeah. And yes, like people don't really understand it if they hadn't dealt with that.
Right. Well, one really great thing about Veterans Day is that it gives people like me and the vast majority of people who have not served in the armed forces, it gives us a moment to reflect on what that means, and so that we can be your partners, we can be your support system, even if we're strangers. It's important for everyone to have that knowledge and respect and appreciate the sacrifice and the commitment to serving our country. You're one of our heroes on Veterans Day. So I know this is a quick little interview, but I really salute you, and we are grateful for you and your example.
Well, I thank you for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Now, Tony Zapata, Senor Zapata, thank you very much for coming. Today, we honor you. I know you have worked tirelessly with all of our elementary school kids, talking about the virtues of patriotism, what it means to serve country, and just as importantly, what it means to give back to our community. I am honored, incredibly honored, to have an opportunity to, hear from you and have all the incredible residents of Boyle Heights hear from your experiences.
My dad served in the Navy in World War II. He was one of the few Latino pilots in World War II.
So but you're saying that your dad, a Latino, was a pilot in the United States Navy?
Yes, he was.
That's amazing because number one, I haven't met many Latinos, Latinas as pilots today in 2020, let alone your father probably being a pioneer.
He flew a Corsair, what they call it, the propeller-driven plane.
Gotcha.
And he spent almost 5 years in the Navy during World War II. Myself, I went Navy. I was not a pilot. I was an air crewman in a helicopter squadron. But I served from 1965 to 1969. About a year before I retired, I got involved with the VFW. I opened my mouth so much that I became commander in 2 years. Okay.
Our community honors you. Our community thanks you, Mr. Zapata, Senor Zapata, as our Veteran of the Year. Gracias.
Edward Esparza, Council District 15's Veteran of the Year.
In August of '67, I volunteered the draft, which I needed my father's signature. In turn, my mother knew nothing about it, and boy, was she upset. In September of '67, I was sworn in to the United States Army. We had many missions. I really don't like to discuss my
Take your time. I know it's very emotional. I can't imagine. Can't imagine.
I really encountered many firefights. I lost a lot of my friends. I'm sorry.
Okay. We see that the monument in Washington, D.C., the names that are listed in the Vietnam Memorial Wall, and I know many of your friends are on that wall today.
Yes, they are. I lost my brother-in-law. He was with 101st Airborne, and he was KIA, and he was only 18 years old.
You talk about the sacrifices that our military servicemen and women make. Truly, the ultimate sacrifice is when you give your life to this country. Listening to your story and hearing the traumatic experiences during your service in Vietnam, what would you say to a veteran who may be having trouble taking a step to get help that's needed? As you know, beyond Vietnam, just thinking about the Gulf War conflicts, the Iraq conflict, what would you say to those veterans who may need help to move to get that extra step to bounce back? I just wanted to hear from you. What would be your message to those veterans?
Well, first off, it's really sad because there's a lot of veterans out there who do not want to seek any help whatsoever. And the help is there for them. All they have to do is either contact a hotline or they can contact VA is very, very vital. And the help there is just so much. It's open for all your troubles and needs. It's just unbelievable.
Just on behalf of a grateful city, a grateful Council District 15, thank you for your service. It gives us an honor to honor you for and recognize you for your sacrifices in serving our country. May God bless and protect you, and thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you very much.
5 years ago, I initiated the City Council's Veterans Day commemoration, inspired by the service that my father gave to our country. As a combat veteran of World War II who served with the United States Marine Corps in the Pacific Theater, he really was an inspiration for me to get into public service as well. And as you've seen from all of the veterans that we've honored during this presentation, they inspire us each and every day, not only by their service in the military, but by their commitment to serving others here in Los Angeles as well. Thank you for your extraordinary service.